Hello there. Welcome to Costs and Management Accounting N6. Still on June 2023. We've got a question that we want to look at from the paper that was written in June 2023. So this question is question 2. I'm going to read the question and we answer the question that follow. The question reads, the following incomplete production control account appears in the records of Bapumulo Producers on 31 May 2023. The business uses a job costing system and is currently based in 2 jobs, namely job MP101 and job MP102. So we are given a production control and the information that we are given there in terms of the balances that we have got balance BD, that is 150,000. We've got material control, 100,000. And then for labor control, it's a question mark, which means that we have to find this figure. And then applied overheads control, we have got 145. And then the total there is a question mark again, since we do not have labor control there. So we go down to try to see what the first part of the question is saying. Of course, we've got our additional information that is here in terms of overheads. Overheads are covered at a rate of 160% of direct labor costs. And we've got the business is 80% markup on its finished jobs. And then the last point, the other point is saying job MP101 is completed and sold. So this statement means that this is the job that is only finished. So what it means is job MP101 is finished and the job MP102 is not yet finished. So we have to take note of that as we prepare the accounts needed. So if you go down, we get given a table again in terms of job MP101 and job MP102 as our columns. And then on the required part, that's why it's very important. On the first part, 2.1 is saying complete and close off the production control in the general ledger on 31 May 2023. So for our general ledger, or in the general ledger for our production control account, remember in the question here, we are given the balance BD. This is the balance that we are going to start with, which is 150,000. So if you come here on our answer section, this is our production control that we are preparing. And we've got our balance BD that we are given in the question is 150,000. So it's there. I have already entered that figure. Then we go back to check the other information that we have to put in the production control. Remember, material control and labor control are supposed to be debited in the production control account. So the double entry is that these figures for material control, we debit them in the production control, and we are going to credit the same figure in the material control account. That's the double entry that we have there. And also labor control, it means that the figure here that we are going to find as a question mark, we debit it in the production control and we credit it in the labor control. The same thing is happening there. The figure for applied overheads control, we are debiting it in the production control, and we are going to credit it in the manufacturing overheads account. So that's what we have in terms of double entry of these figures. So what we are going to do is we are just going to list these items on the debit side of the production control. So we are going to start with the material control, and we are given the figure as 100,000. So what it means, we are going there, production control account, and we go to the debit side, and we are going to say material control. Material control, and we are given 100,000 as the figure for material control. Then if you go back again, we have a figure for labor control, but this figure we are not given it. It's a question mark. So we try to find information that we have in terms of the additional information. If you've got information that's going to lead us to the figure for labor control, but if you read the first point is saying overheads are recovered at a rate of 160% of direct labor cost. So that's where we are having the hint now to find the figure for labor control. Remember, this recovery rate that we have 160%, we are going to get it by saying we are going to use this formula so that we find the figure for labor control. So let's try to see. So the formula that we are going to use here we are going to say this 160% as a percentage, we are going to say 160 over 100. So what it means, we are going to say, when we say 160 over 100, we multiply, that's what the statement is saying, we multiply by the figure for direct labor cost, which we don't have. Then we can just give it as an unknown, and then we can just say that figure is X. Let's just call it B, so that it doesn't confuse us. So if you say 160 over 100 times B is going to give you the figure for applied overhead control, which is 145,000 yeah. So that's how we find 145,000, since we are being told that the overheads are recovered at a rate of 160% of direct labor. So this 160% is of direct labor. Then you get the figure for applied overheads control. So what we are going to do here, we are going to say we make B the sum of the formula here. It becomes B is equals to 145,000. Then we multiply by 100 over 160. Remember, if we multiply by 100, we are going to multiply by 100 over 160 both sides, so that we remove this 160 over 100 this side, and then obviously here when we say times 100 over 160, we are going to get 1 here, and then here also you get 1, and then this 100 over 160, we're going to multiply it again this side, and then we are left now with the B is equal to 145,000 times 100 over 160. So let's try to multiply that one. If you multiply that one, you are going to get 90,625. You get 90,625. So here we are going to get 90,625. So that's what we have there. So this figure is the figure that we are going to put for direct labor control. So basically, we are going to go there now in our production control, and we are going to write there is our labor control, the figure for labor control. With our labor, so that figure is 90,625. Then we go again to find the next figure that we have, but the next figure that we have is the applied overhead control. The applied overhead control, which is we are given it is 145,000. So we are just going to enter that figure as 145. Then we come here. Here we are going to have applied overheads control. And obviously this figure is 145,000. 145,000. So that is what we have in terms of those that are going to come to the debit of the production control. But remember also, we must also have a figure for finished goods that is supposed to be transferred to the cost of sales account of finished goods. But if you go to our question, we are being told that job MP 101 is completed and sold. So this is the figure. This is the job that is going to lead us to the figure for finished goods, because it's the job that is only finished. So it means job MP 102 is not yet finished. So you cannot include it for under the figure for finished goods. So what it means is now is we want to find that figure for the allocation for job MP 101. So what we are going to do there, if you go there, so what we are going to do is the total for job MP 101 is going to represent the finished goods. So we are going to say 95,000 plus 60,000 plus this figure that is in question mark for labor for job MP 101, and then we add also 90,000. The total that we're going to get, that's the total that we are going to put on the credit side of the production control. So remember the figure for finished goods, we credit in the production control and we're going to debit it in the cost of sales account. So what we have here, what we just want to do here is to find this figure that we don't have for labor. But according to the information that we have got, we have found this figure for labor control as a total figure, which is this one, 90,625. So since we have the first point is saying overheads are covered at a rate of 160% of direct labor cost, it means the proportion that we are going to have on overheads is the same ratio that we are going to use for labor cost. So if you come here, we are given the ratio here in terms of what we have under job MP 101 for applied overheads and what we have under job MP 102 for applied overheads. So we've got 90,000 here, 55,000 here. So simply what we are going to do here, we are just going to make a ratio using the figures for applied overheads. And then we find the figure for labor, the allocation for labor for job MP 101 and job MP 102. So the ratio that we are going to use is 90,000 here as to 55,000. So if we add these two, we are going to get 145. So 145 is going to be our denominator. 145,000 is going to be our denominator. Then we say here we want the job. This is MP 101. This side is MP 101, and this side is MP 102. So what it means for MP 101, we want the total for MP 101, since we are saying this is the one that is completed. So we are going to take 90,000 as our numerator. Then we multiply by the total that we got there for labor control, which is this one. So we multiply by 90,625. Right. Right. Let's try to multiply that one so that we see what we get there. So if we say we have 90,000 over 145. Then we multiply by 90,625. So you're going to get 56,250. So here we are getting 56,250. Yes, 56,250. So that's the allocation that we have here. So this is the figure that we are going to allocate here for MP 50,600. Sorry, 50,250. So we are going to have here 50,250. And then we can as well find the allocation that we have for job MP 102 there. So for job MP 102, obviously, according to the information that we have, here we are going to say, now we have got 55,000, and the denominator is not going to change as 145. So we are going to say 55,000, then over 145,000, then we multiply by 90,625. Then we get the allocation for job MP 102. So if you do that, we can as well calculate that one and try to see what we get there. We are going to get 34,000. 34,375. So that's what we get here. And this now is going to come here, 34,375. So the figure that we want now is the figure that we want here is the figure for the total of finished, and we are saying finished is for job MP 101 only. So we are going to add 95,000 plus 60,000 plus 50,250 plus 90,000. So if you add that, you are going to get 301,250. So that's the figure that we are going to put on the credit side of the production control. Remember, we said the figure for finished goods we credit in the production control, and we are going to debit it in the cost of sales. So we go to our answer section and we go to the credit side. We go to the credit side, and we are going to write finished goods. Here we've written finished goods, so we are going to say 301,250. Right. Having done this now, we have finished our entries, so we can balance now our account. which means we can now put our double lines here. So when you add the total of debit, you're going to say 150,000 plus 100,000 plus 90,725 plus 145,000. You get 400. Obviously, this one is going to be the bigger side, so it comes in between the the double lines. 485,000. 625. So the same figure is going to come here is 485,625. Here, let's see here. Right, then 625. Right, so that's what we have there. And then our balance now, we say this one 485,725 minus 301, 250 to get our balance. This is going to our balance CD. And if you subtract those two, you get 184,375. So that's the same balance that is going to come here as our balance BT. On the other side, below the double lines, is 184,375. And as you know, this balance should be this balance. Right, that's what we have. So the next part of the question needs us to prepare a job cost. Let's try to see what the question is saying. Right, if you go here on 2.2, the question is saying prepare the job cost statement for job MP101 only on 31 May 2023. Clearly show the profit and selling price of the job. So if you come to job MP101, from the balance that we are given, we are seeing that it is a beginning balance at the beginning of 95,000. So we are going to start with that balance. So if you go to our answer section, we are starting with that balance of 95,000. So this is our jobs cost statement. So it means we are going to start with that balance as balance BT. So here we start with balance BT, and the figure is 95,000. So that's what we have. And then now we go to the elements of job MP101 that we have in the question. So we go to the table that we have here. Job BMP, remember here we are given materials for job BMP101 is 60,000. We are given material is 60,000. So we are going to enter that 60,000. We go to our answer section. And we are going to say material. Material. And we have 60,000. Then we check the next item that we have there. The next item we have got labor. Remember labor. Labor, we calculated it as 56,250. This was 56,250. So we go there again. And we are going to say labor. 56,250. Right. We go and check again the next one. We have got applied overheads. Applied overheads. So we are going to add that applied overheads here. We've got applied overheads, and the figure that we have there is 145. So we have 145,000. Sorry, applied overheads is not 145. We are going to use the applied overheads for job MP101 only. So if you go back there, let's recheck what we have for job 101. Applied overheads, we've got 90,000 for job 101. So we can go back here and enter that 90,000. So here we've got 90,000 for job MP 101. Then we are going to add those figures to get total production costs. So if you add these figures, that is 95,000, you add 60,000, you add 56,250, and then you add 90,000, you get that figure that you transferred finished that to the finished goods. That one is 301,250. Right. From there now, we are supposed to add the selling and administration costs that we are given in the question. So we've got selling and administration costs. Right. So to find that figure, let's find what we have in the question in terms of selling and administration. They are saying on this point, selling and administration costs amount to 105,000. These costs are allocated to job MP 101 and job MP 102 as 1:2. So it means 1 is for MP 101, then 2 is for MP 102. So to get the ratio for MP 101, we're going to say 1 plus 2 and get 3. So 3 is going to be our denominator. Then 1 is the one that we are looking for. Then we multiply by 105,000 over 1. So if you do that, you are going to get 35,000. So this is the figure that we are going to input there, which is 35,000. So having entered that, we now add to the total that we get for total production cost here. If you add the 2 here, 301,250 plus 35,000, you get 336,000. 336,250. And this figure that we got here is now the total cost. So that is what we have there. Then we go down. After that, we are supposed to add the profit. We are supposed to add the profit there. Right. So for the profit now, if you come here, we've got a statement that is explaining about that profit. We go up there, up the page. Here on the point number 2 on additional information is saying the business is 80% markup on its finished jobs. So it means the cost that we have, the total cost that we have is going to represent our 100%, and then we need an 80% addition of profits to get the selling price. So what is going to happen is that this 80% is the 80% of the total cost. So basically, we are going to say 0.8, which is 80%. Here for the profit, we are going to say, we said it's 80%. So 80% basically as a decimal is 0.8. And then we multiply by this total cost, which is 336,250. So if you multiply that one, you're going to get 269,000. So here you get 269,000. So this one, you are going to add it to this total cost, and then you get 605,250. So this figure that we got here is now the selling price. Right. So that is what we have. But we have to take note here that when we are given that markup, this figure here for total cost here is representing 100%. And then the percentage of markup depends with the figure that you are given in the question, but this is always 100% for total cost. And depending on the percentage of the markup that you are given in this question, you are given it as 80%. So what it means is this answer that we got 605,250 is going to be 100% plus 80, which is 100. It's going to represent 180%. So that is what we have on that job cost statement for job MP 101. Then we can as well go and try to look at the next question, what is requiring us to prepare. Right, if you go to the next question, let's try to go down. The next question is saying calculate the unit cost of job MP 101 for if 7,500 units were produced. If 7,500 units were produced, right? So they want the unit cost. They want the unit cost. Remember the total cost. So we are going to say total cost divided by number of units, which is 7,500. Then if you go to our production cost statement, we are going to see that our total cost is here. If you go to our production cost, we are going to see that our total cost, if you go to our production cost statements, you are going to see that our total cost is 336,250. So this is the one that we are going to divide by 7,500, which is our number of units produced. So basically, here we are on 2.3. We can just say on 2.3, this is 2.3. Our total cost we are saying is 336,250. Then we are going to divide by number of units, which is 7,500, to get the unit cost, which is 44. We get 44.83. So this is the amount per unit. So that is what we have on 2.3. Then we move on to see what we have next from there. Right. The next question, we can check in the question. Right. The next question now is complete and close off the cost of sales account in the general ledger on 31 May 2023. So on the cost of sales account, remember, we've got those finished goods that we transferred from production control. We created the production control, so we are going to debit the cost of sales. And then we are also supposed to have the figure for actual overheads, for overheads recovery. We are going to compare this figure 1,500 with the figure for overheads that we are given in the production control, and see if it's greater or less than the figure that we are given in the. So this 1,500, we are going to compare it with the figure that we are given in the question, in the balance that we have. This applied overhead control. This one we compare it with this one. So if you compare it, remember this is the figure for actual. If the figure for actual is greater than this one, it means we are going to debit that figure, the difference of the two in the what? In the cost of sales. So if it is less than the actual is less than this that we are given, this applied, we are going to put it on the credit side of the cost of sales. So that's the scenario that we have. So we can go to our cost of sales account here. So remember, we have got a figure that we said we are going to transfer it to the cost of sales when we prepared the production control. So we can move up to check that figure. Right. We have this figure here for finished goods, 301,250. We have credited it in the production control. So the corresponding entry is that we are going to debit it in the cost of sales, 301,250. So we can go back there in our cost of sales. And obviously we are saying we are going to debit it. So we are just going to say finished goods. Here you can say finished. and that figure is 301,250. Right. And also we have got an amount that we said we are going to compare the figure that we are given in the information that we have, and to compare to the balance that we are given there of applied overheads. And this figure here, we come here, of actual overheads, we are going to compare it with the figure that we are given on the balance. It's 150,500, and the figure for applied overheads is 145. The figure for applied overheads is 145,000. So if you subtract 150,500 minus 145,000, you are going to get 5,500. And we are seeing that this figure is greater, of actual overheads is greater than the applied overheads that we have in the question. So if we have such a scenario, it means we are going to debit the cost of sales with manufacturing overheads. But if it is less than the figure that we are given in the question, we are going to credit the cost of sales. So that is the issue that we have there. So in this case, we are going to debit cost of sales, and the figure is transferred to the manufacturing overheads. Manufacturing overheads. If you say that figure is 5,500, then these are the figures that we are going to enter. Then we can now put our double lines here. The same this side. Right, so that's what we have here. So if you add our totals here, 301,250 plus 5,500, we are going to get 306,750. And obviously this is going to come again here is 306,750. And this amount we are going to transfer it to the trading account. So this, we are not going to have a balance sheet. We are just going to transfer the amount that we have, the balance that we have, to the trading account. So this is 306,750. Right. So that's what we have on cost of sales. We are checking now on the next task that we have in this question. If you go down, right, on the last part, that's 2.5, we've got show job MP102 only in the cost ledger on 31 May 2023. So if you look at the answer section, we've got that account that we've prepared there, job 1 MP102, and it has an opening balance of 55,000. We're going to see it as we go to the question, and then we are going to enter the elements of job MP102. If you come here, you see that job MP102 is this one, and it has a beginning balance of 55,000 that has been already entered there. So beneath that, we have materials, which is 40,000, and then we also have labor, which is 34,375. We are going to enter that, and then we've got applied overheads is 55,000. So we are basically going to enter all what is here in the account, in the ledger of job MP102. So we're just going to enter these figures under that. So we go there, and we enter those figures on the debit side. Remember, we have got material, and for material we've got 40,000, and then we have got labor, and then for labor we've got 34,375, and then we have applied overheads. For applied overheads, we have got 55,000. These are the figures that are there in the question. You can go back just to check those figures. So these figures are the figures that we are entering. 55,000 was the open balance, and then we got 40,000. They are listed here, and this one we found it by using the ratio of that we have for applied overheads to find the allocation that we have for job MP 102. The same we did to job MP 101. Then we add 55,000. So these are the entries that we are putting there on the debit side. Having entered that, now we now can put our double lines. This is all what we have in terms of job MP 102. So if you add now 55,000 plus 40,000 plus 34,375 plus 55,000, you are going to get 184,375. And this is 184,375, obviously. And then here, the balance, since we have nothing there on the credit side, we are just, this same figure is going to be our balance CT, which is 184,375. And then the same figure is going to come the other side beneath the double lines. So here 175, and again here it will come here again is our balance PT. Right, so that marks the end of our question. Let's still stay tuned for more videos to come. We are going to bring more videos as we prepare for exams. Those who haven't subscribed, please subscribe and share. We are still here, still hanging on there. We are coming. With that, I'm out.